Hi there, and today I'll be talking about measuring and management of IT-related risks. So, what is a risk? Risk is the likelihood of a disaster or an undesirable event occurring. There are different types of risks, and they can be anticipated by evaluating the pros and cons of a situation or activity. There are two types of risks, involuntary and voluntary. What's involuntary? Involuntary risks are those dangers or hazards that are connected to an incident that we are unaware will take place. But voluntary risks are those dangers that we expose ourselves to, knowing the consequences. Risk can often influence decision making. So, this may support the idea and work of neighbour R that suggests that there are two senses to the term know. The two senses are those of awareness of self and knowledge of the world, knowing and not knowing. The four possible combinations are not knowing that you don't know, knowing that you don't know, knowing that you know, and not knowing that you know. The four combinations can be linked to understand the possible risks related to a given situation. Example, knowing the risks and not knowing. An example of a current project facing a risk is the energy saving smart meter. It is said to be behind schedule, which may cause a project to lose a significant amount of money. The committee said the project was in danger of becoming a costly mistake with a series of technical, logistical and public communication issues, resulting in delays. Invested money here can become a loss due to the exposure of danger. The project is at risk of incurring costs with a series of other implications. As well as anticipating risk, considering the impact of risk must also be taken into consideration. Measuring risk and understanding its impact can aid decision-making and given process. The Energy Smart Meter project has measured risk using cost and time. However, this is not the only way to measure risk. Measuring risk is based on the possibility/likelihood of an undesired event taking place. There are many different ways of measuring this. According to Jim Hugh, there are 5 different ways of measuring risks. Standard deviation, change of loss, the magnitude of loss, drawdown, and beta ratios. Chance of loss measures how often a fund loses money versus makes money. Number 2, the magnitude of loss. They are invested loses money. How much could a fund lose in any given year? Number 3, drawdown. According to Levy Falk of fundelelibrary.com, a drawdown is the loss incurred in a fund from any high point in the fund's value until fund recovers that value. And number 4, beta ratios. Beta ratios are used to measure risk of an investment related to the risk of a comparable market benchmark. Although there are outlined guidelines for measuring risk, not all of them are relevant to the given situation. Measurement of risk is dependent on the situation as well as the ability and experience to predict as accurately as possible. However, if we are measuring these risks, how are then we to manage them? Firstly, we need to understand the risk. IT creates business risks. Knowing that what those risks are is the first step in managing them. Another way to manage a risk is treat the IT risk management as a business investment. Aligning IT risks with business requirements will help you allocate the resources you need to manage those risks. Another way to manage a risk will be reevaluate risks regularly. Periodic reevaluation of risks and controls should be part of the business IT's control strategy, not just when the problem occurs. In conclusion, if there is a risk, make sure it's measured to the capability that you are able to manage it using the various different management methods and the various different measuring measures. Thank you.